Another night at the shop. Had some work to do, usual cleaning, plus one or two other things that I wanted to get done while I was there. But I wanted to talk about a business topic, cleaning up messy situations. I guess what I'll title this one. But this will be definitely under business. Basically, have a vendor. Vendor is not pleased with the rate at which we're paying them. And, you know, the vendor's been very, he's worked with us quite a bit. And actually did, he really did us solid in the past. Never had a really problem with this vendor. I've helped him once or twice with Bitcoin and things like that. We've had a little bit of a... I think I can probably do... Well, I wanted to do business with him after this business has gotten off the ground. But something happened. He just wasn't... I'll leave it at this. He's not pleased. And I wasn't pleased with the way it was handled. I felt not wronged by it because I believe he was right. I mean, if somebody does work and they want to get paid, they get paid. I mean, that's not really a problem here. The thing of the problem is the difference between a verbal agreement and, hey, listen, you saying one thing today and then another day it's something different. That type of stuff is what really kind of irks me, because what it shows me is that if maybe even pressure is applied, things start to change. And that happens. That happens even to me, but I handle it in a different manner. I will be upfront with the person and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Did not handle it that way, or I felt that I was being shamed for the situation. So now it's funny, like we go from, hey, listen, having the money and paying the person to the person doing the work, and then having issues issues with payment. Not really an issue. The money's there, thankfully, and the way everything was working, it was going to be worked out to where he was going to be paid pretty much in full in a short period of time. The last situation that happened was work got done, and it took us months to pay him because of other issues that were going on. We'll give you that background story again. I will say, if I hadn't said it before, that this gentleman is right in his concerns and the way he feels about the situation. What I am bringing is the way I cleaned up, or where I felt I cleaned up a messy situation. But I had to kind of just give that background. Basically, got a couple text messages. The text messages were like, hey, listen, I feel that you're taking advantage of me, so on and so forth. Not trying to do that. Again, it was something we talked about. The way I handled it is, and getting to the meat of it all, is I said, hey, listen, I understand this. You don't have your payment terms in writing. Also, from what we've discussed in the past, and he even noted this in his text message, he said, hey, listen, $200 to $300 was good Monday, but now it's Friday. And I'm like, okay, the difference a couple days make. And I was like, you know what? No problem. We're going to get you your money out to you. I talked to my business partner, collected the cash where necessary, made it up, took it from the business, and then, got everything situated for him. The way I handled the situation personally was I said, hey, listen, I don't want you to feel that you are being taken advantage of. Also, I need your payment terms discussed or stated at the beginning of the project. Usually, the way I work it with larger projects where it's a couple $1,000s or something like that, I let the customer know. I say, hey, listen, I need X amount up front, I need this much for parts, and I need this much in terms of labor. Please provide that, and then we can get started on the project. If I do anything outside of that, or outside of what is written, then that's my issue and that's my problem. I have done that, and that's actually happened to me before, where I've been in a situation where it's like, I just didn't get paid for a long period of time, and I I gently reminded the customer, saying, hey, listen, you know, we got this work done in a timely fashion. We need to get paid in a timely fashion. Please make sure that, you know, you have our funds available to us as soon as possible. And it's the same thing with him. It's like he didn't really do that. It's just, or it's not like he didn't do that. It's just, again, the difference, it gets to be a bit of a, even with business, there's an emotional aspect to it. So, and I've tried to take that out of my business, which is why I returned or responded in the way that I did to him, where I said, hey, listen, you know, I understand you feel a certain way about it, but this is what was expressed to me, and this is what I understood it as to be. I apologize. Hey, here's your money, or here's the payment schedule to get you your money. Pretty much, hey, listen, you want that money, but I have a couple things else that are a couple other concerns that I think need to be addressed. One being some of the work that needs to be done, so on and so forth. I detailed that with him beforehand. And I guess the thing I could pull away from the situation is, again, personal growth, looking at what I did and how I handled it. I handle it as clean as possible. I try to be as direct as possible. I try not to pontificate like I usually do, like I do on some of these videos. I try not to emote as sometimes I do on these videos, and even in other reactions, especially when dealing with him. I came to him straight. I said, hey, listen, you want your money, you want this amount by today. It is available. Let me know when you're ready. I use the Cash App in this case. So let me know when you're ready. I sent him a test payment. I said, hey, listen, once you say that you received that test payment, I'm going to send the balance via Cash App just to ensure that you have it. Because I just don't have time to meet with him. I have another customer or another thing to do with my own business, my computer consulting business, that I just can't give him the time to go out, you know, and deliver anything to him. So I guess to sum it all up is, when dealing with messy situations, take the emotion out of it. Try and be surgical in the way in which you look at, try and be surgical in the way in which you handle it. Also, have empathy. Understand the backstory. The backstory is, he is right. We took a while beforehand to pay him. At the time, we had to pay a general, like, I think his bill was like like $1,400 left or something like that. And it took us months to pay him this because we had a general contractor that we had to pay off. We had rent that we had to pay, all types of other things that were going on. And we paid him little bit by little bit. Again, that is my fault. I have since taken over certain things. That situation was started by my business partner, but my business partner represents the collective. Therefore, he represents me. I had to make sure that we clean up our face on these situations to say, hey, listen, we're not that type of people. We want you as a vendor. We want you to continue doing work for us and to ensure that things are getting done in a timely fashion, which he has done. He has done exemplary work. I have shown it in other videos. But you take the emotion out of it. You go forward with empathy, understanding, and then you go forward at the end of it with a solution. And that's just handling business. It's a add a solution in at the end. End it with a solution, so that both parties understand what's going to happen, what has transpired, what's going to happen moving forward. You know, like I sent him a nice voice note saying, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen moving forward. I need to know this before you do any type of work for us, because I do not want these issues or these text messages. So I let him know a bit of my distaste for what was going on, but I also let him know that, hey, we understand and we're sorry. We apologize for this. And one of those this won't happen again type moments or situations or phrases. So when I went through all that, I felt that I cleaned up the situation as best as possible. At the end of it all, the solution is you're gonna get your money. Here's a test for your money to make sure that you get it in the time. Like, you're gonna get your money. That's it, plain and simple, and you're going to get it on this date. And I think that's kind of the best way to handle these situations. Kind of losing track a little bit on certain things, so I just want to make sure that I get that out. But thanks as always for listening, and I hope it helps somebody, and I hope it helps handle your confusion, or handle help with people in miscommunication and handling any confusion when it comes to situations like this or business dealings of any sort. Thank you very much as always.